Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard ORTIZ.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Boys
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California, we're live, Mad Production Studios. I'm Rich Ortiz, your host of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters, Kick-Ass Podcast. And this show wouldn't even be possible without the one, the only, the co-host with the most, the Apache Kid himself, Mr. Cole Escovedo. How we doing, Cole?
What's going on, amigo? I'm good. There's been a lot happened over the weekend.
A lot happening over the weekend. I mean, it's just been, if you're a fight fan, boxing, MMA,
ambulances,
divorces, because husbands fighting wives over cookies and albums, and
all
you showed up late, you didn't show up, all that kinds of stuff, man. You know what? They should be on the Fighters. KP, great job today. The microphones sound crisp. They sound clear. Man, I want to drink a beer. Man, but hey, here we are, man. Here we are. We have a legend with us. You know, okay, and I want to talk about some other things too. The Fighter's Voice, man, we're blessed, to have with us on the phone MMA legend who has now reinvented himself into turning himself into a legendary referee. This guy is a stuntman in Hollywood, a former or, previous, because he does have that voice, co-host, and I believe it was ESPN Radio, the list goes on. I got tired of reading his resume. I actually got so tired, man. I mean, I had to drink I don't want to plug anybody, but I had to drink something red. You know what I mean? And it just put me over the top.
Nice.
But hey, enough said. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Frank Trigg. And if you watched Bellator MMA last Saturday, you saw the man in action. There was even one time when he was refereeing, Cole, he wanted to let his hands go because he just, it was kind of like a flashback. He wanted to let his hands go and just, tap somebody out. Frank, you with us right now, my man?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, man. Hey, it's okay to speak up, man.
I don't want to speak up.
Oh, okay.
You got a better voice than I do. So
no, you're doing really good, man. For a second there, you kind of sound like Frank Merigian a little bit. Man, Rick Merigian a little bit. What am I thinking, Frank? Didn't he when he said that? Hey, how
that deepness?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Frank, how we doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, no complaints. I'm doing okay.
You know what? You have an MMA resume that will just, my gosh, I don't know these guys after they read your resume if they want to really truly become a fighter, but you reinvented yourself. Talk to us about how you made the transition from MMA to now refereeing, stuntman, radio host, and the list goes on.
Well, what do you want to cover first? Because they're all different stories.
Well, let's
cover the stuntman one. I want to see how you fell into stunt work. And
then I want to hear about the radio part.
Okay, so stunts, I was out in Hawaii. On vacation, essentially. TJ Thompson, he used to run Icon. That's where I fought Robbie Lawler and Jason Miller. He had the NOA brothers. He had, the list goes on. He had anybody back in the day that was fighting in the islands. Like he had them as a promoter. And so I was out there going to visit him. He's like, "Hey, I'm robbing a bank today. Do you want to come down and watch me do this gig?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll come down and watch." He's doing a scene for Hawaii 5-0, and this is back in season 4. They're now in season 10. Wow. So we're going back 6+ years ago. And I came down there. The guy standing at some Lou Diamond Phillips looking guy comes over and starts talking to me. And he knows more about my fight career than I know.
There you go.
He just keeps going into it. And all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, do you want to work on Friday?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll come down as an extra. It'd be kind of cool. I like the show. I've been watching all the episodes. It'd be kind of neat to go ahead and be on there as an extra." And I show up on set. So this is like Tuesday. And then I show up on set on Friday. And I have like this thick contract. I'm like, dude, like, what I get hired as? Like, I thought,
what did I do?
I got brought in as an actor. He's like, no, you got brought in as a stunt guy. And you're gonna take a stair fall. So I took a quick 2-step bump down a stair and ran into a wall as a
professional stuntman.
As a thief came running by me.
Oh, nice!
Wow. And that's the end of it. And that's my first gig. And then I get that check, and I was right at the end of my career. So I was kind of like, do I want to keep fighting? Do I want to fight a couple more times just so I can pay off some bills? Or do I want to move into something else? I wasn't sure that something else was. I got the best lunch I've had at the time. It was like one of the best lunches I ever had anywhere on set that day. I got that first paycheck from the day's worth of work with the sun adjustment, with, everything added into it, with overtime, all that stuff. I was like, and I figured it out. I go, if I'm in a training camp and I got to spend 8 weeks, so I can't do anything else but fight, or during that 8 weeks, if I just did stunts, if I had 5 to 6 days during that 8 weeks, then I'd make just as much money or more
fighting
as a stunt guy.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I fighting? This doesn't make any sense. Because I wasn't in my prime anymore, so I wasn't going to make millions of dollars. I was going to make hundreds of thousands. I was maybe make hundreds of dollars.
Yeah,
not even
exactly.
hundreds of thousands
Yeah, the
of
money
dollars.
wasn't
So
money wasn't
it's better
high
for me to
yet.
go on to stunts. So that's what I did. I went on and just did stunts full time, and that was my transition into doing stunts. And then from there, I just took off. Yesterday, I was on a new show called Deputy. Tomorrow, I'm on SEAL Team. Friday, I'm on NCSLA. Monday, I'm on NCSLA, and that's just kind of how the cycle goes. Like all of a sudden, you get booked up and backed up on a bunch of shows all at once.
And today, you're on the Fighter's Voice.
Yeah, I know, right? Look at that schedule.
Exactly. And you got to be a stuntman to be on this show, my man, because Cole, he just comes at you throwing jabs, rights, kicks, you name it, man. Cole just lets him go all the time.
You forgot about his elbows.
Yeah, we shared some bus time. We've got a chance to hang out in Germany. We were stuck on buses for a while, like long stretches. So we got to really interact. And Frank's very straightforward, but man, I would say, do you pull pranks on people on set?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just got that. He's that natural guy. Frank can walk into a room and within 10 minutes, everybody just kind of wants to come hang out with him. Not because it's a machismo thing or an ego thing.
Oh, it's just that guy.
He's just that guy that everybody in the room kind of just wants to hang out.
Attracts attention.
Yeah.
People just come and they want to be a part of this conversation.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Well, part of it is too is that I'm not a snowflake, so it's not like I don't get upset about stuff that doesn't. Like if somebody says something offensive to me, I don't find it upsetting. I find it funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I can be in a crowd where when you go to the first time at a dinner meeting with a bunch of people, you're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah, you're not quite sure what political lines to talk about and things.
And
yeah.
religion, right. And I'm the first guy like, oh, let's just talk about it. Who cares? And at the end of the day, we're on opposite sides of everything. Like we don't have to agree on anything. I'm totally okay with that. I don't mind.
Yeah,
it's
be friends. Conversation.
I don't mind at all. Yeah.
Nice. So we figured out how you got to get thrown around and car crashed and fall off buildings for a living, which, by the way, I'm super envious of that. Sounds like the coolest job a kid could grow up to be, movie stuntman.
Yeah, I want to be all that now.
How'd you fall into the radio spots that you pulled with a lot of the different organizational things after you started fighting? Well, you were still a little bit fighting at the time, weren't you?
Oh, no, I was full fighting still. I was like in the middle of my career when I started doing podcasts.
Yeah.
With, the first one was MMA Weekly with Ryan Bennett. Ryan Bennett dragged me into it. I won a competition. I just won a competition, and then he got me doing podcasting because of that, because I've been doing it for so long. When Ryan passed away, one of the guys, Steve Cofield in Las Vegas, where I had subsequently moved to from California at the time, was like, hey, I have this show on ESPN radio here in Las Vegas. Do you want to come do it? I'm like, sure, whatever. And then I thought I was going to make a free gig, like a non-paid gig. And he's like, no, you get paid for it. So I got paid to come in and do a weekly, like I think it was every Thursday or every Tuesday. We come in and we talk MMA, like the MMA hour or whatever of the show. And it was a sports show. Is Steve and his co-host was back then was the Pig.
Yeah.
And it was
they
a great show.
Regular sports,
ran it, and from there, it's like anything else. If you do one thing kind of well and somebody hears about it, they're gonna grab you once that run is over. Somebody else will grab you in the same field. So that one radio show turned into multiple. I don't even know how many different radio shows I've done now. But I don't really I haven't like Howard Stern has done Howard Stern his entire for the majority of his career, right at this point. So like he's got that one show, and all the people that are on that show with him are kind of in that one
same
show.
genre.
I kind of like do a show for like a year, and then it kind of fades and gets moved on. I end up doing another show for like 6 or 7 months, and that thing fades and goes away, and then it's kind of, so like I'm always bouncing around between different
doing the
shows.
same thing, just different shows at that point. Really, you're still doing what you do.
Yeah, and see, my thing doesn't change. It's just the name of the show does, and the dial that you find me on is a little bit different, and that's the weird thing is like I don't really have that much consistency when it comes to doing radio stuff and commentating stuff because I'm kind of all over the place. Like even right now with my MMA commentating, I only commentate for Rising, which is in Japan, and the only reason I'm able to do that is because they don't have a license or don't want to get a license to throw events in America. The moment they want to throw an event in America, I have to step away and can't commentate for them anymore, or I have to give up my refereeing license. It depends on which, what I want to give up. Now, when it's all said and done, the MMA refereeing, the money in it is horrible. Just to be quite honest with you, it's absolutely horrible. I worked when the UFC was in Anaheim, I worked the UFC. I worked Kinetic Submission Grappling Tournament, and I worked the Eddie Bravo Combat Jiu-Jitsu World Championships. And I barely made more than what I make on one day on set in an 8-hour day.
Oh wow!
And I had worked literally. Saturday was a 12-hour day, 10 hours on Friday, and then Sunday was shorter. It was only 9 hours.
Wow.
And the total combined money that I made across all three events was just over what I make on one day on set.
For only 8 hours.
It's silly. So
yeah,
it's a hobby. You know, it's a hobby that I make a little bit of money at. It's not most people have hobbies they have to pay into. Mine pays me a little bit of money, but it's really, you know, John McCarthy said it years ago. If you want to get better referees, you got to make them full time. Give a full time salary, and you know, and like with boxing referees, they get a full time salary. You know, when you do the Wilder, what was it, the Wilder versus Fury fight, that referee made $25,000 or thereabouts. You know,
wow.
for 12 rounds, you're like, that's a living. You can, if you do 5 fights a year, you've made a living. You made $120,000. Like you can make a living at that. And there's a goal to get to that level. Like not every ref makes that.
No, you got the Joe Cortez.
But you work your way up to it, right?
You got the Joe Cortezes, right?
You can't work your way up to it. You're stuck. There's no way to get to that level. You know,
yeah.
It's just silly.
So you must really love what you do then. I mean, you get cage side seats. I would say ringside, but you're right in the middle of the mix there.
Yeah, but it's not as fun as you think it is, because so there's an order to referee. So the fight before your fight, you do the grease down cage side or backstage in case of Bellator. So you have to run back and forth and be there on time and pay attention to what's going on and get up and handle that, right? And then when that's over, you are now the next referee in. So the fight before my fight, I do the grease down, and I got to sit at the commission table because I'm a secondary referee. I'm the guy that's kind of looking to see if there's like a weird foul or something happening that the ref doesn't see it, or if he's like, I think he was up when he got kneed in the face, but he might have had 2 hands down. Like, how do you
another
see it?
set of eyes?
And then I got the replay thing right in front of me, so I could relay information into him very, very quickly to keep the fight going whatever direction it needs to go. Okay. So that whole fight before my fight, I'm working. So it's not as pleasurable as like being a fan sitting there with a beer in your hand, drinking and having great seats. I actually got to work. Now the fights that I'm not working, I'm usually picking up scorecards, or if I have to go in the back and give my pre-fight rules meeting to each individual fighter. So someone's like, "Oh, you have great seats. It's awesome. You're there." I'm like, "Dude, all I do is run around. It's a freaking madhouse."
It sounds like a gopher job almost.
The kind of crap we have to do. You know, it's nuts.
And for the pay, the way you describe the pay, it totally doesn't sound like it's worth it for the pay, unless you really have a passion for, like, that was going to be my next question, is where you see reffing at now kind of thing, and what changes do you feel need to be made, and do you feel that you're the kind of guy that might want to stick around, not for the money at that point, but to start maybe trying to push for some of those changes?
I'm in it full bore. Like I am in this game, whether the money's there or not, doesn't matter. Okay. As long as I don't lose money at this thing, I'm okay with it. So even like the driving and the you know, having to drive like 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours to an event. You know, you're paid as a local. You get a hotel room. You know, which is kind of cool. You get this great hotel room, but you're barely in it because you get there the day of the event.
Yeah, so you got no relaxation time.
Check in, but then you got to report at 2:30. It doesn't matter. You don't go back to your room until 10:30 or 11. You take a shower, and then you got to leave the next morning at 7 a.m. So it's like, really, how much is that fun? But as long as I'm not losing money, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
So do you
do it, I do it for free because I love it so much. And as far as the rules go, I'm actually on the ABC's rules committee for trying to enact new rules in MMA. Part of that was trying to make it this year. We're trying to do this last year we're doing the weight cutting, so that when you make weight on Thursday or Friday, then you fight the next day. When you come in, you have to get weighted again.
Yeah, make sure you're not a percentage difference.
You can't be more than 10% up.
I heard of there was a handful of fighters on one of the most recent UFCs that like 5 of them all failed that. They made weight, but they all went over that limit.
For people at home to understand what happens, if you're over that limit, that fight that night still happens. Nothing happens to the fight. So you've already made weight for the fight. It's a health issue. It's a scare issue. So we have to worry about now is either you're not disciplined enough to keep your weight down, or you're cutting far too much weight. So now we want you to go. California is the one that enacted this. Andy Foster, it was his brainchild, and came with the rules and regulations. All of him putting it together. But because you are coming over that 10%. Then you then have to go to a doctor that either clears you to go down and shows you how to get down, that you can safely make that weight and be okay with it, or you have to move up a weight class. And that's just for longevity of fighters, because you look at all these old wrestlers, especially my era wrestler, that wrestled in high school and then went on to wrestle, trying to make the world team and all that stuff. All of us cut a crap ton of weight. We're we were completely dehydrated, completely depleted our entire careers. Like we basically were malnutritioned ourselves to keep our weight down
while competing.
And we're training like that, and that's how we thought we were going to be elite athletes. Was doing it that style. And so they've changed it. So now it's like you look at guys like Derek Fix and Schneider and the rest of these guys now they're out there, and Jordan Burroughs and those cats. These guys don't cut that much weight. They train hard. They eat right. They have a great diet system. They have a great lifting system. They have a great training system.
So
and they do it a lot more scientific. And as a result, they're around a lot longer. Where wrestling made the change. MMA now needs to make that change as well. And that's what we're leading towards.
Frank, I got a question for you. And I'm going to let you answer it. Any
Well, I hope you'd let me answer it. It's a question for me.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't want you to shut it down just before you hear it. Any way you make the transition from refereeing MMA to boxing so you can make the type of money that Joe Cortez, Richard Steele made in their profession? Because you said they make really good money.
Yeah, there is. But you got to remember, the problem is, so refereeing has a hierarchy. So right now in California, I'm second from the bottom in California. Basically the guys who are on the pro cycle. There's a couple other guys you can talk about. Maybe I'm 10th, whatever. But you have to remember the refs that are here: Herb Dean, Jason Herzog, Mike Beltran, Mike Bell, and that's just the guys that travel all the time. Okay, those 4 guys are the ones you see all the time in other jurisdictions. They're all located and based in California. You see Mike Bell all the time working with the UFC. You see Jason Herzog all the time working with Bellator, working with the UFC. Bell works with the UFC. Beltran now is traveling with UFC and with Bellator. Like, these guys are traveling with these guys in World Series of Fighting. These guys are traveling with these guys to other jurisdictions. Well, in California, those are the top 4. So now where does everybody else fall in? So like when you get into these positions of like the UFC, right? Like I was a little disappointed I didn't get a TV fight on the pay-per-view portion, because that's what I wanted. So I really wanted, but I had 3 great fights. It didn't matter. It's still 3 great fights. The pay's not that much different. It's just the ego of being on the pay-per-view. That's all it really was. But it was like I really wanted to be on. I didn't get it. I was like, okay, but then you look at who's up there. You're like, I'm not better than Dean. I'm not better than Herzog. I'm not better than Beltran. Those guys at the top end. And then you bring in, and sometimes you get other refs brought in from different jurisdictions that are better than me too, like Blake Grice and those guys. So you're talking about a hierarchy to get up to like the Richard Steele level in boxing. The boxing hierarchy is even more diluted. There's more fights, there's more things to do, but there's so many more boxing referees that you have to shine and not step over, but be better than, and prove that you can be better than, and spend that long time doing it. Like you saw John McCarthy, a great ref he is in MMA. He never got up to the big main event, 12-rounder
in boxing
stuff in boxing before he retired. It just wasn't there. But then the best boxing referee in the entire world, I can argue this all day long.
I want to hear it.
The best boxing referee in the entire world is Jack Reese, and he is based in Oxnard, California. So you're like, okay,
we're talking about right now. Jack Reese is a legend. He is the best right now as you go. But you also got the Mills Lanes. You also got the Kenny Bayless, and like I said, Joe Cortez and Richard Steele. I thought he was a good referee. He just got a lot of flack for stopping a few fights that a little too soon. Maldrick Taylor, Julio Cesar Chavez, Mike Tyson, and the Crusher. Well, not the Crusher, but I'm talking about one of the fights that he stopped. The first fight was Mike Tyson and Razor Ruddock, and he got a lot of slack for that. But
I mean, it's they get a lot of flack for it, but the reality of it is that if you go back and look at it again, you're like, no, it's a good stoppage.
It was a very good stoppage.
Very good stoppage. It makes sense the way you did it, And that's part of the problem, is trying to make sure that these things, as a referee, is making sure you have the right stoppages at the right times.
There's a fine line there.
No, the referee he named right now, yes, he is the best in the game right now. And he may be arguably the best of all time. But he just got to continue to get these big fights. And, yes, he's a badass referee.
Yeah, nice.
Well, so you look at this stuff, like, now how am I going to jump into that? So now it's a lot more. And then remember, with everything, you just start in the amateur level.
Well, they got a lot of different networks, too. I mean, you got the Golden Boy, the Top Rank, and you got the PBC. I just thought it had a more of an open gate, more bouts.
Well, yeah, there are a lot more bouts, but like I said, there's a lot more referees as well. And you have to start back down at Golden Glove. You have to go back down to amateur first.
Yeah, that's correct.
And get like 200 matches done at that level before you can even apply for your pro license. And then if they accept it, you don't start at the championship bout fight. You don't start at 6 rounders. You then go back down to your 3 and 4.
But you're Frank Trigg. You're the stunt man.
Yeah, but
you're the stunt man.
From MMA. I'm not Frank Trigg from boxing.
Okay, there you go.
See, there you go. A little bit more. I wanted to combine a question that combines your stunt work and your MMA refereeing career. So, because we don't get to see all the fights that you ref on every card. Some of them are undercards. They don't make the TV prelims or whatever. Where have you seen? Because there was a nice one this weekend that I heard you had front row seats for. What's the worst injury you've seen? Either is it in MMA or was it in stunt work?
Worst injury by far is MMA.
Okay. What's the worst MMA injury you've seen as a ref up close, personal? Kind of like how Dean got the old Tim Silva arm snap up and close.
Mine's a leg break. I just had this last weekend. I had one of the fighters' kick got checked. His kick got checked. His leg snapped and wrapped around it. He actually kicked himself in the back of the leg.
Yeah, with the flat part of his shin.
Yeah. So he kicked. His leg broke. It wrapped all the way around the leg, and his toe touched the other side, the front of his shin.
Yeah, that was
all the way around.
That was we know that guy. That was a real gnarly break.
Yeah, it was gruesome.
That was gnarly. So
and he took it well, man. He held it like you got to talk about a stud.
No, he's dude. Yeah, dude's been shot like 9 times. He
wanted to get up. He wanted to keep fighting. He wanted to keep moving forward. I was like, dude, you got to stay still. He looks there and goes, yep, my leg is broke. Wow, this is going to suck. And I was like, yeah, this is going to suck for a while, but you'll be okay. And then, he got up and got on the stretcher board and thumbs up on the way out. And
that's right.
Dude, what a stud.
Yeah, he's super stud. Dude's been shot like 9 times. He's super stud. So it was unfortunate to see that break.
Big Al Gonzalez.
But hey, I mean, at least we could tell Al that, hey,
absolutely,
worst break he's ever seen was in MMA, and it was your leg, bro. I mean, props to that. So
you know what? And just to let you know, Frank, he has a great attitude. He's talking about already coming back. He's talking about, hey, nothing's going to stop me. And when you hear a man say that after breaking his leg as severe as he did in front of the whole world, and to have a great attitude like that, you've never had a break that severe. What advice do you have to give to him? Because he is listening tonight.
So the thing is, you got to look back and see how Anderson Silva handled it, because Anderson Silva went through the same thing, and he had to do it. It's a long road, and people are like, don't get frustrated because you're ready, because the cast is off in 3 months, and the pins are healed, and the plate is grafted to your bone, and everything is good in 3 months, but you can't walk or you can't run, or it's still real stiff. Now you got to get your Achilles to open up again, and now you got to get your toes to move again. You got to start building your strength back and all that. Like, don't get frustrated and don't take a fight early. There's no reason to jump into a fight early. Take time to make sure you're fully healed and that you're mentally aware, because that's the biggest thing. Is like, man, last time I kicked my leg gave way, so am I going to kick again? I'm going to stop kicking. Well, that's part of your style. You want to change that up. You just have to get back to where you're confident and you're sure that, okay, my leg's going to hold. I can kick these things, or I can change my kicking a little bit to make sure it doesn't break again. Like, whatever has to happen, but take your time. There is no hurry. MMA is not going anywhere. It's not going to.
And he's young.
If you can survive by taking 18 months off, then take 18 months off.
I'm glad you said something. You said Anderson Silva. I mean, that would be so cool if Anderson Silva could reach out to him. Maybe send him a video, a text message, just something to inspire him and let him know, say, hey, you know what, it's not the end of the world.
I've got a text message in to the only person that can answer that question. I've got a text in.
Well, I'll say this. Anderson Silva, if you're listening to this, Big Al Gonzalez can use your advice. He can use just any thing you can give him to keep him with his head up, to keep him with the same attitude that he has, that yes, he will come back, and some of those speed bumps along the way that he's going to face. I mean, if anybody knows the advice to give him, would be Anderson Silva.
Who's
one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, MMA fighter. So that's my message, Mr. Silva.
Yeah, I like
there you go.
I like it.
So Frank, before we let you twinkle toe off, amigo, I got to ask you with the whole Khabib.
Hey, first, it's no longer twinkle toes.
Oh, what is it now?
You wanted me to say that, Cole, and I kind of hesitated on that.
What is it now?
Yeah, good job. It's Mike Beltran changed it to Triggalicious.
Triggalicious, Mike, bro, that is awesome. I owe you a beer, sir. Triggalicious. Wow.
Yeah, Beltran started calling me that, and now all the commissioners just call me Triggalicious.
Were you wearing them Lululemons around him or something? What was going on?
No, I don't know what happened. Where were we, babe? My wife's listening in. Where were we when we did that?
He's always talking about your butt.
Oh, talking about my butt, because
that makes sense. Yeah,
my pants, my roughing pants, and after I retired, I started eating a lot more and not training as much and drinking wine, and my ass grew like
you got thick.
Like, dude, man, I grew up. All the time.
Nice.
Like, whoa, this is what it's like to be an adult. This is awesome.
This is
and
awesome.
So you start talking about on my pants how they're already stretched out in the back. It's like,
don't bend over and pick nothing up, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So it just became he's got a booty, and so we make fun of him because Mike's the only guy I know that if he loses weight, his ass gets bigger because he's got no ass at all.
Wow.
And so he started picking on me, and one day Triggalicious popped out about 6 months ago, and that's when it's since.
I doubt you contended the name too. Yeah, hashtag Triggalicious. That's going to be a shirt. So, but real quick before we let you go, amigo, you've seen the Khabib Poirier fight. Who do you think should have the next shot at Khabib? I'm of the opinion that Tony Ferguson is duly earned of it. I have no reason to see McGregor fight him because he hasn't fought anybody, let alone won a fight. And then GSP I'd like to see, but I don't see that happening either as there's such a weight discrepancy.
So Tony Ferguson is the obvious choice to come in next. He's the guy that's earned the right. But you got to remember, we're still the sports entertainment version of our sport right now.
Unfortunately, yes.
So
we've run into entertainment
really
era.
about what's going to sell tickets, what's going to sell beer in the arena.
But will Conor really sell that many tickets these days?
Say again?
You think a Conor match would really sell that as many as it used to be just because of people would be of the consent that he didn't deserve that fight?
Dublin to be there, man.
It's going to depend on what he does between now and then. You got to remember, if Conor starts stirring the pot gets stirred. That's how it works. So like when Tony Ferguson hurt his knees, right, and he couldn't compete for a while, and he's trying to stir the pot, no one cared.
Yeah.
He kept talking, but no one was listening because you can't really do anything about that.
Because you're hurt.
And it's not enough hype to like actually make people want to pay attention. Now when Gregor starts to talk, he can fight. He's shown in the past. He can fight the fight. He's got a history of getting his ass kicked by somebody and then kicking his ass in the next fight. So he's got a history of doing that. So you can show that with Khabib. And it's all about at the end of the day, it's all about for the alphabet that now owns the UFC. For them is what's going to make the most amount of money, what makes the most amount of dollars and cents, and that is the way that they run their business.
From that perspective, yeah.
Look at them; they still own the largest market share, and they still run. And then sometimes those fights that are put together because they think they'll be great dollar money makers actually are great fights, and sometimes those ones just aren't. But that's the way with every single fight. We've seen some great fights put together that you're like, on paper, this is going to be a bang out fest. I can't wait to watch
fizzles.
it. Somebody's going home in a stretcher. Somebody's getting knocked out. Somebody's getting their arm ripped off. And it's 4.5 or 3 rounds of them doing absolutely nothing but doing a dance. You're like, this is the worst fight I've ever seen.
So you think Ferguson's going to get boned?
I don't know. I can't make... I stopped making predictions when I was still fighting about what's going to happen next because none of it makes any sense to me. I just don't understand what the matchmakers have to look at, and I don't understand what the UFC has to look at from their business standpoint, or Bellator, or World Series of Fighting. I don't understand that, and why you have to put these certain matches together versus other matches. I've always been very much from the thing of we wrestle each other Tuesday and Thursday nights. You have your duels, you have your tournaments on the weekend, and you get seeded off your record. It doesn't matter what the best fight's going to be in the finals. It's what's going to be. Who's the best guy of the day is going to be. So it doesn't matter all the time. Sometimes it's not the best guys. Having to be a guy that had a good tournament. And that's what makes the sport interesting. But with MMA, it's really about, can this matchup sell us a bunch of tickets? Can this matchup really make sense? And does it make sense to get us a bunch of money, but also can it be a title fight?
Can we sell it?
I don't know what they have to look at. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, that's true. That's about the safest answer you can give, amigo. I appreciate your input on that one.
But no, definitely Tony deserves it by far.
He definitely deserves it. By now, he deserves it. He's healthy. He kind of got screwed out of it last time when he was hurt. So it's like, you got to give the guy a chance to at least lose. I mean, I don't think he'll beat Khabib, but I don't think he'll beat Khabib, but I think he's got the best chance right now.
He's going to compete.
No, yeah, but I think at the end of the day, he gets choked, like, just the way he does it. So, Frank, we appreciate you coming on, man. Real quick before we let you go, where can people follow you? How can they find you? What projects you got coming up that we should look forward to seeing you on TV, and what shows can we look forward to it?
Okay, so right now it's all Frank Trigg. All my social media is Frank Trigg. It's one word, 2 G's, and it's all me or my wife. That's all that I have access to my account. So if she does answer for me sometimes, especially when I'm traveling or we're busy, she handles a lot of my social media as far as like making sure that I get back to people and all that. So sometimes it will take me a minute to get back to you. Don't think I'm ignoring you. It's just because it takes you a while to answer back sometimes. Just what it is. And I'm the only one that does it, so you can't like expect an immediate response to some of the questions I get asked.
Be patient, guys.
As far as shows go, I just did Deputy yesterday. That's not going to come out until October. I do SEAL Team tomorrow. I got NCSLA this weekend. I was just in Lucifer. The Laundromat with Antonio Banderas is coming out. I'm in that. 17 Bridges, babe. Was it 22 Bridges?
22 Bridges
coming out pretty soon. I'm in that.
Oh, cool.
So I'm in a bunch of different stuff right now. It's like, but the thing is, it's weird. Like when you're doing stunt and acting, like you're in something, you're like, wow, man, I was in John Wick. This is great, man. I was in John Wick. Which is like, one, you can't tell anybody anything. You got to wait a year and a half before it comes out.
Right.
This is like, and then when it comes out, you have to wait till after. You can't post anything before, so you have to wait till after. Oh yeah, here I am on set with all the guys. Getting ready to shoot the great motorcycle scene you see going in the tunnel with John Wick. You're like, dude, this is incredible. That was great. Why can't you tell us 2 years ago? That's how the industry works. So a lot of the stuff I'm in hasn't been released yet. The easiest way to find out what I'm in is go to imdb.com, type in my name, Frank Trigg, and my whole list will pop up.
Your current filmography.
And it'll tell you what I'm in and what's coming out. It'll even tell you like this is the date of this episode. This is the date of this
Oh,
movie
okay,
release.
cool.
This is the date of,
And then,
yeah, it makes it
because well, we want to look for you. We want to be able to see
exactly.
where he is.
And you know what? I bet you we type that in there, we're going to see his name with Fast and the Furious and a stunt double for Vin Diesel.
No, when his stunt double got hurt
well,
a little while ago.
Well, then you're going to get the call then.
Some people reached out. I had a couple of different people reach out and asked if I was available to do some reshoots for his body double, and it just didn't come through because they had to shoot him up in Canada, and Canada's got a weird system where you have to be. They have a real union up in Canada. We just have a guild. Ours is the Screen Actors Guild. They actually have a union up there, and their union is that they have to ask 9 people first, their Canadian residents, that can fit the bill, and if those 9 say no, the 10th person can then be traveled in from a different country, and they'll give me a work visa. So it's like they're like, yeah, I'm available, but you're shooting everything in Ottawa, so you got to ask the other 9 guys up there that look like him, and let me know which one is not available. Like they're like when you get a call to double to do a reshoot for Vin Diesel, you are doing it, no matter what you got going on, no matter how sick you are, no matter what's happening in your life. You just drop everything and go do that because that's a big notch on your.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I mean, I can see both ends. It does kind of suck for you guys that are out of country, but then I can see where the government basically is saying, "Hey, you got to we got to take care of our own first. If you're going to shoot here, we'd love to have you, but you got to use our guys if possible first." So I can get that, but that sucks for you guys because they want you and they can't even use you.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you got to kind of wait, and then just the call never came, and sometimes they go through and get like to 8. Like the 8th guy says no, and then the 9th guy they use him, and they're like, we can't. He's just horrible. He can't do what we need. And then they're like, okay, now we need you, Trigg. You got to come in. I mean, that's how it works sometimes too. You know?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like a fighter, you got to be ready at all times.
Yeah, that'd be like
just like a fighter. Frank, I will say this.
It is Cole. It is very much like when we were fighting.
They would just call you like a week's notice,
and you just were always training. You were always just ready, and it's very much like that. Where you're like, we're always training, we're always getting ready because we're waiting on that next phone call, and you never know when that call is going to come.
Exactly, you always got to be ready.
Well, that call is going to be coming pretty soon. Frank, I will tell you this, man. Watch, you're going to get that call. Something special is going to happen within pretty soon. You're going to get the call of the lifetime, and your career is going to blossom. Trust me when I say that. Hey, I got to say this quick plug, real quick. This weekend, you were working with one of our co-hosts, Carol the CUTWOMAN. She was there and working the events, and she said it was a pleasure working with you, and she learned so much just by watching you and the way you kept your composure, man. So she wanted me to pass that message on to you.
But all props to John McCarthy, Mike Beltran, and Jason Herzog and Mike Bell. Those are the guys that when I first started reffing were like, this is how you got to act backstage. This is how you got to act when you're with the fighters. This is how you are inside the ring. Here's your mechanics. Here's your protocol. And those guys beat into me. It was like going to boot camp, you know. And you walked out, you walk in as a scumbag, and you walk out of there as a Marine. You know, and that's kind of what it was like going into these things, man. They beat me up and made me learn real quick.
Nice,
man.
Well, Trigg, appreciate you coming on, man.
Appreciate you, my man.
From here on out, it will be Triggalicious. I'll make sure to note that in my personal journal.
Triggalicious, yeah.
Nice.
All right, so come on. Appreciate you taking the time out to give us a call, man. And yeah, that's it. Hope you have the rest of a good night.
Yeah,
man.
you know what? I'm gonna have Cole later on send you the link of the show. You can enjoy it and have a good time with it. Appreciate you taking the time, man. And can't actually wait to have you back for the next time, especially when you come and share that awesome news that you get of your phone call that you will be getting soon.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you got it. Thank you.
Night, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Awesome dude, man.
Told you.
You know who he sounds like? And anybody from Fresno, California, he sounds like Charles Tremblay. Completely.
Oh.
I thought we were talking to Charles Tremblay on the phone.
Yeah?
Really, the same thing, the same voice. I know right now Mark Davis is laughing. There's a few people that know Charles. Even Charles is saying, damn, I didn't know it was on the show.
When did I get that phone
Yeah, when
call?
did I get that call? Just like when you talk to Luis Ramirez, Jose Ramirez's brother.
Yeah.
Just like you're talking to Jose
Yeah,
all day.
exactly,
The same
right?
voice, man.
Same articulations, all that, man. I told you, he's just that kind of guy.
He is that guy.
We spent like 2 weeks
sharp
on
too.
a bus with him.
He's sharp too. He likes to go tit for tat. I like that though.
Yeah,
that was
he's
good. Keeps you sharp.
He's a button pusher when he wants to be.
Yes, he's either going to make you or break you.
Yeah.
So I like that. He's going to motivate you or you know what?
He'll break you down.
Yes, he'll break you down, punk you
But
out.
he'll break you down from like a very specific point stance. Like he'll point out what is about you, and he'll explain why it's that way.
He knows his stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. The guy's really educated.
He knows
he's super
his stuff.
smart. And he's
No, he
not
knows
like,
his stuff.
I don't know if he spent time in large universities. I don't believe so. It never came up. But he's just not, educated. He's globally educated. That makes sense. Like he's worldly educated. He's
Well,
seen things, he's been
hands-on educated.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's what it is. And it's like he's a student of the sport, and he continues to educate himself. 'Cause he knows a strong referee is just not in his element, but outside his element. So
because he's been on both ends of that
he
cage.
knows the structure. He knows exactly what it takes to be the best.
But man, to find out that they got to run around like that, you got to
Wow.
be pre-fight guy, ref yours,
That's that passion.
and then get backstage again. That's insane, dude.
Oh, what you know? What a lot of people too. When you ring announce. And they go, oh, you're sitting right there. No, you're constantly going over your notes. Well, for me, I'm coming.
You're moving
I'm
the whole
always,
time.
Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
all tense and I'm always focused. But you want to just kick back and say, wow, that just happened. But you don't want to lose focus.
Yeah, because you know in like 30 seconds you're going to have to go up and announce that. So you already
Exactly.
got to be thinking, okay, here's his name, here's his name, here's his name,
Absolutely.
here's how he won.
Yep.
Here's his name, here's how he won. Okay. And then you run that scenario through. I mean, even the greats like Bruce Buffer do that. I mean, they already know what they're going to say and how they're going to say it because they know how they have to do it to get the crowd excited.
Yeah.
You know, they can't just say, oh, Joe Blow, winner by rear naked choke. No, he gets into it because that's his time. That's his.
That's
those are
the
his
entertainment
moments.
business.
Exactly.
He has to keep them entertained.
That he's a very heavy job on his shoulders to do
Absolutely,
that. Because
absolutely.
he's become an icon because of that. Like Bruce Buffer, you think UFC, you can think of Bruce Buffer instantly.
Well, he's like Loopy. I spoke to him, and they just have that amplifier inside their chest. When you talk to him, I mean, that voice is just wow.
Say it from your chest.
Well, no, it's just there's an amp in there, man.
Yeah,
they just kind of turn it and adjust
dial, and it gets that baritone in there.
Exactly. There's something in there, man.
But yeah. So back.
Great advice that he gave. Al.
Super great advice for Al. The fact that was his worst. The worst break he saw, I was telling Al about that. Hey, dude, we were talking about.
I
you
like
on
the
show.
way that I like the strategic move that you use there.
Yeah,
to bring it to surface. And I like that.
Great learning opportunity. But
Yes.
I think I'll see if my guy gets back to me because as far as people I know, it's either him or Ask Anderson.
And here's the thing. I want people to understand this. And I want the viewers and listeners to understand this. I could easily go to Cole's Black Book and say, let's get Anderson Silva on the show. Let's get him to say a soundbite on the show. But this platform is for the fighters. And I just think it would be super cool if we can use that so Anderson Silva can reach out, send him a video, a text, an email, communicate with him in any way, shape, or form, and let him know, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through this.
Yeah,
I've been
and
there, and you're younger than I was. Your tissue is a lot stronger now. And
his healing process is going to be a lot better.
Just motivate him.
And that's why, why I reach out to guys for things like that.
The card that I want to pull it for one of our previous guests.
Yeah, and he could use it.
Yeah,
he could use
absolutely.
it because they've had the exact same break. And Anderson literally firsthand would be in a position to say, here's how I felt. And Al will go, yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
The do's and don'ts.
Yeah, exactly. And go, maybe he wasn't gun shy. Maybe he instantly knew right out the gate, go, you can't be gun shy. You have to throw it correctly and how you want to throw it and throw it like you should. And don't be gun shy. Because it's so easy. Like, even with broken hands. Broken hands, you're gun shy. Or if you got the shit kicked out of you in a fight. Guys who've never had their shit kicked like that before in a fight, sometimes you never see them again.
Or
you see them and they're gun shy as fuck.
It's like everything else. It's your deliverance.
It is. It's the deliverance.
Your timing,
commitment to the healing process.
Yes, exactly.
And it's a lot of psychological too.
I bet. Can you imagine that?
It's super psychological. Like you just have to accept that you got your ass kicked, and real fighters are able to do that. Real fighters are able to look at it from, I just got my ass kicked. That's all that happened. This isn't what's going to happen this isn't going to happen every single time. There was fights before this that this didn't happen.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my day. And that's what a lot of people forget to look at is they only look at the defeat and they get gun shy from there thinking, well, fuck, is it going to be like this? The next fight's going to be different and the next fight could be the same. But those 7 you have before or whatever could have been the same as well. And it was your day. Nobody stays undefeated.
I like his attitude.
Exactly.
He has a great attitude, and he knows it's going to be a waiting process. And he is going through the mental part right now.
And honestly, I don't even think Al's going through that mental. Like I said, some guys just right away, it's just it wasn't my fucking day. That sucked. Okay, well, it was bound to happen. Something's bound to get broken. Cool, I got that out of the way. And he's in a position where he's young enough and he'll heal.
I believe so.
And there's no mental. I don't think there's any mental barrier for him where he has to not be gun shy. It's just a matter of, okay, can I start kicking again? Cool. Baby steps, and then start, kicking on the heavy stuff. And then it's a matter of, okay, now the whole time it's what happened and why.
Oh yeah, exactly. He has
that you
that
can
footage there.
adjust.
Is key to him.
Yeah,
so he
no,
could avoid
that's-
it and make the adjustments, just like getting knocked out or knocking someone out. Like when you knock somebody out, you're gonna look at that tape over and over again. You go, and you're gonna look what happened, how did it work, what did I bait him? Did I bait him? How I put it together? Why he bit the bait? I knocked him out.
Even if you're like kicking their ass the
you
whole
make
fight,
you
and
make
just
that
get
adjustment.
clipped.
Yeah, you make that adjustment. It's part of the sport. And you know what? He's the type of dude. Say for some reason the doctor gave him some news he didn't like. He wouldn't listen to him. He said, "Well, you're wrong because I'm going to do this." He's that strong-minded. And when I said the mental part, it's mentally getting himself together for this journey, this part of the journey, because I believe that he has a lot to offer the sport.
I could never just. I mean, just having been shot 9 times, I would.
Did you see the way he came in with that bulletproof vest?
That
I loved
was.
it.
Like I told him, it would be
He could
risky,
wear
but
it.
it looked cool.
Yeah.
Like it looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, it looks cool as shit. You know. But I don't even think after having been shot 9 times that there would be. I would never try to convince him that you don't need to listen to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had he not been shot times, I'd be able to look at it and go, I know how you feel because I've been there. I've had doctors literally tell me, you're probably not walking again. Don't even think about fighting. That shit's done. And that's when I made the UFC. So I can feel that how he would feel as far as, you say 8 weeks, I say 6.
Yeah.
So I can get that. But even those, that would have to be if he hadn't been shot 9 times. But the things he's already gone through, like, if I was to tell
that's
why
why I like
argue
him.
with
That's
him,
why
dude.
I like him when he's here. I mean, he's
just
a
tell
true,
him when he can
he's
train.
the true voice of a fighter. He is the true fighter's voice. To be able to come on here, not just talk about his mixed martial arts, but his personal life, and being shot 9 times, and now a leg break. And
Yeah,
he's
and
like,
that's
okay,
nothing.
it's part of life. Here I go. Get ready because I'm coming.
Yeah, it's part of the sport.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's, you know, I can understand some of his frustration too. I mean, to celebrate, you know, you checked a kick and the guy broke his leg. It's not like you kicked him and broke his leg. There's a lot of variables there on why the leg broke. You know, could be, you know, existing things, could have been incorrect technique. You know what I mean? Like you were kind of getting whomped on a little before that happened. So it's not, you know, so I can see his frustration of wanting to get healed and get right back at that same guy. That's the type of attitude he should have, provided when the time comes that he's healed, he focuses on whichever fight is offered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not be like, no, I want that fight. You need to take a fight that you will find out whether you're going to be gun shy or not.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. That's just, I mean, once that bell rings and that cage is closed, then that's the real fight right there and there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about a fight that's coming up. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And once again, the fighter's voice. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the fighter's voice. Almost like Conor McGregor, but just a little better. The fighter's voice delivers. This show is blessed. This show is blessed. Guests that come on our show, their career takes off. Not because I'm some type of prophet or not because I'm trying to say, okay, we're batting 1,000, but guests that come on this show, their careers tend to blossom. Everybody that comes on the show, it happens. LeVar Johnson is not exempt from that.
Right?
We said it would happen. We said, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get that phone call. You're going to come back on the show and tell us exactly when your fight is. Well, we were talking about it earlier this morning, and sure enough, LeVar Johnson is scheduled to fight this Saturday. And I'll let you take it away from here, my man.
That was I saw that news today. He's replacing an injured fighter for the I think it's, I don't know if it's a tournament spot. I think it's a single match spot.
Yes,
I don't think
it
it's
is.
part of
Yeah.
it's part of the
Absolutely.
it's a single match spot on the card, but he's replacing an injured guy. So
We
get to
know
see his
how
debut.
how quickly that can change.
Well, yeah, no,
Yes.
that's going to go from debut to
Yes, yeah, exactly. I
like
believe so.
main card fight
Yeah.
right out the gate. Like LeVar's, that's a good spot to be in. And I
Yeah.
saw the post, and I was like, dude, hit me back.
Yeah.
Like, is this legit? Hit me back. I'm gonna share it as it is anyway because it came from you, and I've seen Goodman post it, and I've seen other sources.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, we're good. And so I was super excited because that's huge.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be a huge morale boost. That's got to be a weight off the shoulders. Like he is now going to get the opportunity he's been waiting for.
Yeah,
Which is to
exactly.
get back out there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's fighting
Boom.
James McSweeney. Now, that's not even going to be an easy fight.
No.
Like, that's a tough fight. McSweeney's a good striker, so that's going to be a good
No,
fight.
they show some footage of him working out.
Exactly. So, right out the gate, we're going to get to really see you know, what LeVar can do in this sport now. Now that they've taken the gloves off, now what he can do in the sport, and he's going to be given a nice opportunity. It's going to be good. I hope he's getting paid well for it. But I mean, he has to be super
some numbers
excited
to me today, but I'm not going to.
Oh well, yeah, no. Then he has to be. I mean, he just has to be excited that now he's got this weight off his shoulder, and now he can like go to work.
Yeah.
This whole time it's just been like interview. It's
my opportunity, my chance to do what he loves and to do what he's damn good at.
Exactly, and they're going to see. If you watch any fight on the card, dude, make sure you at least watch LeVar's fight because that's probably not going to last very long.
No,
I think it's going to be a short night of work. I think he's going out there, boom, statement, done. Give me my fucking paycheck. When's the next fight?
Let's go.
So I'm excited for it. I actually look forward to catching that fight. I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited for that fight too. Just the fact that he has that opportunity. So that's already a victory in itself because he went from nobody will
call you.
Well, yes, exactly. Yeah. But and he got the call.
Yeah.
Got the contract. He's on the poster and he's scheduled to compete. So I'm happy.
That's a good opportunity. I mean, it sucks for the guy that got hurt, but I mean, shit happens, and you know, it made an opportunity for someone else.
Well, you got to remember, Bledsoe got hurt too, and Tom Brady came in for him.
That's true.
And the rest is history, man.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I mean,
I don't have enough fingers on one hand, guys. Sorry.
It is what it is, man.
But yeah, that was a really good opportunity.
So I'm waiting for one of these commentators to get a sore throat. You know, I'm going to get the call or just show up
and that's
one day.
how it happens too. No, it could be, dude. Hey, it could be something as weird as like, hey, our commentator got food poisoning at lunch this afternoon. Can you come down to like, you know, LA or something? We need a guy. You know, and it's like now, you know, those are the kind of phone calls you get. Flight. Trust me, they come in all shapes and forms. Like a phone call of, "What the fuck are you doing?" Making waves. Stop it.
Yeah.
You're giving me a headache. Stop it.
Yeah.
We'll call you. Okay, just stop it. I'm like, yes. And then sure shit, like 2 weeks earlier. All right, smart guy. You want to fight? You want to fight Burrell? Come on, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go fight Burrell. That's what you want to do, right? You're in. By the way, he's undefeated. Yeah, come on, let's go. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. I mean, it's what it is.
Hey, it happened, and you know what? We could talk about that fight too because he dropped homeboy, and you gave.
Dude, I to this day I still think I won that fight.
Well, I think you won the fight too.
I do,
not just
but I can see the judges ruling because of takedowns. Like because I mean, but he didn't.
I wish I
would have
saw their faces once you dropped him. Like, oh damn.
Yeah, like how do we score this now? Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we've been told to score it this way from the gate.
But I mean, at the same token, that kid did a lot of really good things. I mean, he was clearly in the right spot. You know what I mean? With that organization, regardless of where he is now, but he's done so many things in that organization, and he was in the right spot at the right time. So, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? That's just the way it is.
I'd hate to be in Joe Silva's spot right now, trying to figure out what the fuck are we gonna do with Khabib? Nobody can beat him. What are we gonna do? Like you're in a great position because you've got this guy that is not really loud, he's not really boisterous, but he's still entertaining. He just stays calm and he finishes just like everybody you put in front of him. Like he just beats them.
Can he beat GSP?
Okay, if magically GSP showed up at 155 pounds for a fight.
He can't make 155.
But that's what I'm saying is magic. It'd have to be in a fantasy league because there's no way he makes 55.
Khabib won't move up, right?
Khabib would be, I think it would be an incorrect decision to move up.
Khabib can move at least 5 pounds.
Look at the first time Nit Diaz and Conor fought.
Yeah.
Conor couldn't carry the extra weight. Mm-hmm. He was moving a lot noticeably slower than we were used to seeing, and that allowed Nate's reach to become full-fledged fucking effective. I mean, slap you effective because at that point he knew
there was a size difference.
Size different, massive reach difference, but Nate was faster with a reach. That's a bad combo with a guy like Nate, dude, because at that point he can do whatever he wants with very little concern for the fast counter strike. So we saw what happened in that outing. So
let's talk about the Magically matchup.
The Magic matchup would probably have to be at 155.
Okay.
And I mean, even if Magically if Khabib went to 170 and Magically was the same size as GSP and carried the weight, I think he'd fucking destroy GSP. But at 155, I still think he'd win, but I think it'd be a much more entertaining fight. Yeah. I think GSP would be a lot more agile at 55. I think he'd be a lot stronger than your average 55 or at 55. I just think he'd make a better fit for it. This isn't him cutting down and just sucking all the life out of his body.
I think it'd be a good fight.
I think it'd be a great fight. I don't see it happening at 55. I don't see it happening at 170 either because I would hate to see Khabib's undefeated career go up against the risk of carrying the extra weight for your first fight against GS fucking P.
Yep.
That's like, you know what I mean? It's like, here's a bullet. Now, he's going to have a semi-automatic pistol. You get that revolver, Barney Fife. Good luck.
That fight happens only if Khabib says, I want to fight.
Yeah, I mean, if they both came out tomorrow and said, yeah, we agreed to fight at 170, Okay, when? Because that's got to be at least 6 to 8 months from now, because you got to put that weight on, convert that weight to muscle, and start training camps at that weight class, because you can't go in cold. You can. I mean, Khabib could snap my neck. So if he wants to go in cold saying, yeah, this is number one, we are good. We put on the weight, we feel good, we're gonna do the fight in 6 months. Okay, cool. Fuck it, I'd watch it.
I'd love to watch
but
that
I don't
fight.
think it would be smart. I think you have a good chance, but just because
He's got a chance to clean out your division.
It would slow him down.
Clean out your division, your true division. Can he be a champ? I think he has the tools and the tenacity to become a champ.
I just think that the jump between 155 and 170 is such a big jump that I don't think it's good. I don't think it would be easy for somebody to defend at 55, defend at 70, defend at 55.
Him at 155? Who competes with him at 155?
I've already gone on record saying I don't think Ferguson will win that fight.
I think Ferguson will win that fight.
I think Ferguson would dot him the fuck up. But I still think Khabib would drag him into rounds 3 and 4, where Ferguson's not tired, because his gas tank is good, but the technique does start to suffer because he's compensating for not getting tired, but the technique starts to suffer.
Whoever fights him has to prevent getting taken down.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Once you're down,
he'll drag you into round 3 and 4, and then he'll just drown you in the water.
Yeah,
that's what Khabib does. Because if Khabib can't finish you early on, which he'll try to do, he'll test you out, because he don't care. He's a banger. Feed that boy bears.
Yeah.
So he'll try to do that. But if he strategically knows that you're the better striker today, then he'll just revert back to what works for him. I'm going to get in close. I'm going to smother you. I'm going to grind you against the cage. I'm going to make you carry my weight, and then I'm going to suck your legs out from under you, and I'm going to crawl all over you. Even if I don't finish you or beat you, every single time I do that, you're getting tireder and tireder and tireder, and I'm not, because I'm making you carry my weight. That's why you see him lean into everybody when he's got them against the cage. He doesn't lean on them, he's leaning into them, because he's driving his weight into you and then just sucking down on you, and you have to carry his weight to keep him from dropping, because he wants his weight to carry him down, and if you don't, he'll snap drop.
Well, that's just his whole style, and he imposes his will on people. And you're right. I mean, he takes them deep waters. But I want to talk to you about the main event on Bellator. Bader.
The Bader fight in Congo?
Yeah, Congo. Do you think that eye gouge was intentional?
I don't think any eye gouge is intentional. For me to ever think that an eye gouge was intentional from a fighter.
Rampage Jackson seems to think so.
Well, yeah. He took two their fight, I think.
Is he building a fight with Bader by coming in that way?
Oh, of course.
Or is he really speaking for he said his homie, his friend?
It could be both. You know what I mean? It could be both. It could just be him trying to remember, because Quentin's very articulate. I've talked to him numerous times in Japan. He knows what he's talking about as far as the entertainment aspect of the business goes. So if he's doing something, there's multiple reasons behind it. It could be because he's looking out for his guy, but it also could be, I can look out for my guy anyway, which I was gonna do. How do I entertainment spin this? So it could be he was gonna do that anyway.
Okay.
And speak out and say, no, fuck that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there was also an opportunity for him to kill two birds with one stone with an organization that he has a good relationship with.
We know where that fight was going. We knew the direction it was going.
You never really know the direction it's going, but you had a pretty good idea up until that point.
Okay.
So,
well, that's safe to say.
But given the direction it was going, there is a clear coming outcome.
I was waiting for him to pull that right hand, let that right hand go.
Sometimes you see it.
He let him close the distance.
And that's where you run the risk with them, is when you let him close the distance like that. Gets his hands on you. That's a big dude to have his hands on you, man. I don't care how big you are. That's still a big dude with his hands on you.
Exactly.
You think Khabib tires people down carrying weight. Imagine trying to carry a Bader or a Congo on you. Yeah. That's not happening.
Not
for
big
long.
Dudes there.
Yeah, it's not happening for long. But I don't think the pokes were intentional.
Okay.
Because like I said, to think that they're intentional.
I didn't say they were. I just asked.
No, but I'm saying is for me to consider the option that they were,
Yeah.
it sends it down a whole different road of what kind of person I see you as a fighter. Because if I think you ever intentionally eye poke somebody, all integrity for you goes out the window for me as ever being a fan or even being somebody who shared, canvas space and the same sport with you at that level, that it's like, I don't know, and I don't judge anyone, but I would feel comfortable in saying, yeah, dude, if you poke somebody in the eye intentionally in a fight, dude, you're a piece of shit. Because all you're doing is you're risking somebody's eyesight because you can't beat them.
I personally think that he didn't do it in purpose.
No, and that's what I'm saying.
I didn't.
I always
I don't
assume
think
they
he
didn't do it
needs
on
to do
purpose.
that to. I mean, he was having his way up until then. I think it was an accident.
And it happens.
And it happens in the sport.
Because a lot of people,
that's my take, anyways.
Just a lot of people naturally reach out for things, or just blocking. You know, and you
That's
go forward.
That's a human reaction.
And unfortunately is. So especially when close quarter exchanges start happening, maybe you get clipped and you try to stiff arm them or something, and your hand goes in their eye. I mean, I never think a fighter does it on purpose, ever. My first assumption is always that it wasn't on purpose.
Okay, you're on the sanctioning body. They come to you, the powers that be, and says, Cole, find us a solution where it doesn't happen again. Are we designing a new glove, a new mitten? Are we putting this? Are we putting something on the fingers? What are we doing? Because you got to remember, Muhammad Ali used to flick his jab a lot. A lot of people got
so they had to tie the thumb on.
Well, because of Sugar Ray Leonard, he demanded it when he fought somebody, because he had detached retina, so he had the thumbless glove, and the rest is history.
With fingers in the eye, there's no real way to protect over the fingertips without already restricting what you're already restricting for the grappler. I mean, because you got to remember, this is the size of my hand. When I'm wearing a UFC glove or any MMA glove, it extends the width of my hand by about a good inch almost. So now when I try to underhook you or get my arm in where it's all nice and sweaty or whatever and slide my hand in where I normally would just be able to go, now I've got this big turtle shell on the back of my hand and I can't get it through, or I got to force the fucker through. And so I'm burning arm juice trying to get it through, or I pull my arm
juice,
or I make openings by trying to repeatedly pull back and forth and basically tell the guy what I'm trying to do and then catch an elbow for my cost.
Yeah.
So I've never been a big fan of how much restriction the gloves give you, but as a grappler, majority of my career, it didn't really make a difference to me. I did it anyway. You work with what you have, but to put something over the fingers would restrict that even more. If you look at the Pride, Japan, Bushido, Dream gloves, all those, the finger covers come out to about almost just past the knuckle. And I like the way they felt more. The padding seemed softer, like it was just more for look than anything. The real padding was kind of on the fingertips, but it wasn't a solid padding. And my fingers still felt flexible, but even then, I caught Yushiro in the eye. So even that glove doesn't do any different. You'd have to have something that totally covers the whole knuckle. I think Shudo or hook and shoot, back in the day, they used to use gloves that were like, they look like your current day MMA training gloves, which they go all the way over the fingertips and it kind of cuffs at the top there where your fingers go in, and that covered all your knuckles. So that would prevent any eye fingers, but at the same time, that's really restrictive. Like, it's super, super restrictive. You can ask guys like Henry Matamoto's.
That's more mainly for striking only, right?
Yeah, ask guys like Jeff Curran. Those gloves were made for being able to have good standing strikes.
It's almost asking you to wear boxing gloves and go to a grappling tournament.
Kind of, yeah, kind of, exactly. Okay. Wear boxing gloves, go to a grappling tournament. It's because that's how you feel sometimes when you're trying to wrestle, and it just won't go anywhere because it's restricted by the gloves. So there's not much you can do as a sanctioning body, I don't think, without getting way major backlash, because they'd all be like, I'm not wearing this. Yeah. It's not like a helmet thing where your perception is cut off, which was what's his name's argument, but it's you can't do your job now. If you're predominantly a grappling guy, you're Murillo Bustamante or something, and all you want to do is grapple, you're at already a disadvantage because you got to wear the fucking glove. You're going to make it even harder on me to get grips and everything on my guys? Nah, dude, I'm good. That now favors the striker and the staller. And that's that you can't as an athletic commissioner or sanctioning body, you don't want to find yourself in a position to where you now are basically taking sides. Well, we're doing it on the side of safety. Safety for who? I'll risk an eye poke if I can grapple and submit my guy. Exactly. Because eye pokes happen so rarely. It's not like it happened. I mean, it happens all the time, but
they can come up with any glove, and they cannot predict 100% that it's not going to happen again.
Even with the one that comes over the tips.
There could be a default in the equipment.
And a finger sticks through.
Yes, exactly, something.
It's always going to. That's why nail clippings is so important. Like, the guy at the gate, make sure your nails are clipped for a reason. Like, making sure those are clipped and not being hesitant, because I know I don't want to be the ref at the gate that goes, nah, dude, clip your nails. Well, I'd have a nail clipper with me and go, let's clip those real quick. Like, that has to be done if you're
and filed.
Yeah, clipped and then filed. Go, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to have you poke my dude in the eye with your fingernail sticking out to here and sever his retina because you didn't want to take a look. Exactly. But I don't ever want to be in that position. But that's the first line of defense for preventing major eye poke injuries is nails. Just having them clipped and filed down and clean cut. That's it. That's a major thing. They look several times at your fingers.
One position you want to be in is this Saturday. There's going to be a seminar in Madera, California, at 10:30 a.m. It starts. And it goes all the way to 12:30 and that's at Madeira Martial Arts. Madeira Martial Arts. Let Chris know that the Fighter's Voice sent you there. Go over there, and he'll take care of you. You got Zoila Frosto and her sister there. They're going to be putting together the seminar, working with the youth, the even some of the older cats, whoever wants to learn basics, expand their talent
too.
Yes, there is a discount.
If you're in the event itself, competing, you get a discount.
Exactly. I want to go down there, man. I can't guarantee anything. I want to go check out Jenna. Jenna, the gym at Crease, is going to be there. She's going to compete in there.
Nice.
She's coming to Madtown.
Nice.
And you know what? And I believe something's taking place because she posted something at Madeira South Campus. So I got to get that clear, but I believe it's at Madeira Martial Arts.
I can tell you exactly where it is.
Because I want some clarification on that. I don't want to send them there for nothing.
2 seconds. It's going to be the Madeira South High School, Madeira, California. Doesn't have the address, but that's where it's going to be.
It's put on by Madeira Martial Arts.
Yeah, it's
at Madeira South Campus.
Exactly,
and that's on Pine Street, Madeira, California.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just gives the exact location of Madeira South High School. So and it starts at the Frosto seminar starts at 10:30.
Yeah.
Weigh-ins are from 9 to 10. So remember, if you're weighing in that day, you have an hour. Be there on time because it's day of competitions. The seminar will start at 10:30 in the morning. And then the rules meeting for the fights will be at noon, and the first bout scheduled for 12:30. So that means you're going to have a good hour and a half of seminar time. That's a lot. And if you're a spectator, it'll be free to all. It's free to all participants. So if you're competing and you want to get in on the seminar before the fights start, it'll be free to you. You just show up and you're in. Spectators, it'll be $40. If you're non-participant. So.
And, that's not bad at all because you're going to see a lot of young cats and some older cats competing. Now, that's Saturday. Now, Sunday in Kerman, California, Central Valley Battle Royal. And that's put on by Heartbeat Boxing in Fresno, California. You got some amateur boxing. It starts at 3 p.m. and it ends at 6 p.m. But amateur boxing, it's never going to start at 3 and it's never going to end at 6. And so give or take some time, and that's just the way it is.
They're on jiu-jitsu time.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu time is always, the tournament starts at noon.
And they can't start until the doctor's there, the ambulance is there, and, of course, the referees are there. And I've been at some events, and that's been the whole
They don't ever show up.
But in this case, Gilbert, he puts together a great show. He has every T crossed, every I dotted. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be Sunday. And also, you're going to see Carol, the CUTWOMAN. She's going to go out there, and she's going to go help.
Oh, cool.
Help these kids there, yeah.
Volunteer her corner services? Or?
I don't know if it's volunteer, man. But she's going to go out there and do it. Hey, man.
If you're good at something, don't do it for free. I mean, she
know your value and add tax to it.
Yeah, exactly. So
and that's just the way it is. And I know Carol likes to give back, but someone needs to give back into her gas tank. Her car, her automobile, wear and tear, and what have you.
Been putting in her, I would say, she's put in her internship time.
On her resume, Bellator.
Exactly.
Combate.
And she's good for entertainment value. She's got a look. She's trying to bring a following. It's just, unfortunately, like Frank was saying, guys like McCarthy, Dean, Beltran and stuff, to get as good as they are, and unfortunately there's no way around it, it's trial by fire because you have to be reffing a fight where one of those bad incidences happen.
And how you handle yourself.
Yeah, and how you handle yourself, how you handle the scenario, like a guy won't get off or a guy won't stop punching him and you just can't pull him off the guy and get him off. It's just, he's not it's like, how do you handle that? You got to be able to pull that fucking dude off, even if you got to choke the motherfucker. So that, or be put in a bad position to where you stop a fight that for a week everybody told you stopped that fucking fight too soon. But it's not until after cooler heads prevail, everybody starts realizing, no, you know what, that fight, now from a different angle, that guy was out. You know what I mean? Like that guy, you can look at that dude. The dude's looking up at the roof while he's getting punched from this direction. It's like, dude, how more fucking out do you need to be where the ref has to look at it and go, dude, you're done. And even if they do,
I've seen some refs perform that way.
Yeah, so it's their trial by fire is how you get to be a McCarthy or things like that. That's just how it has to happen.
Well, exactly. And Carol, you know what I told Carol? I said, you know what? I hope nobody really gets hurt. But the only way she's going to stand out is for someone to start leaking, and she shuts it.
Yeah, if she stops it.
No, she's put on there.
Yeah.
Now I want to see what you can do. We need this blood to stop so we can continue to go on to the second and the third round.
What do you got in your bag?
Let's see what you can do. How good are you?
Yeah,
Boom.
And that takes a skilled knowledge of
it does.
Cuts, bleeds, experience, people that are better than you telling you how it works and what you're really looking at.
I believe she's up for the task. I want to see that when her number's called, when she's put in In the corner, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, actually work in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
When she's
Just
asked,
put on
hey,
the
to
spot.
perform exactly the spot.
And they
right
won't
now,
even
it has
ask
to be
her.
done right now. Let's go.
They
now.
won't even ask her. It'll just be, can you, because
Instinct.
all that matters is the doctor's going to know, can you stop the bleeding or not? No. Fight's over.
Yeah, but
You know what I
I
mean?
want her to shut everybody up. Say, everybody move out of the way.
Yeah.
Shut up, everybody. I got to boom and just take charge in there. Just boom, stop the leaking. And someone's going to say, man, I need that.
Well, yeah, but
That's a value right there.
and that's a gamble moment too, because the dude could take the next one and shit just splits up. And
Yeah,
you're like, God
yeah.
damn it.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
it's
it
not
happen.
even your fault. They just
No,
the
I've seen it
guy.
happen,
Yeah,
man.
because they
It's just the way
target
it
that
is.
after.
It
So
is.
you got to know that you're repairing a wound that you know is going to get shot at again. It's not patch him up and he moves on.
I talked to Mike, and they'll ask you these questions. A fight was stopped because cuts. And a lot of people say, who is this corner man? They'll ask that, which is kind of unfair to ask because a corner man can't, put your hands up and have you block or move your head.
Yeah,
or
but-
say, this guy was cut, he was leaking, and they'll ask, hey, who was the corner man?
Yeah.
It was cut in the second round, but, we kept it under control. We won a unanimous decision. Hey,
Yeah, bad cut in the
corner man?
second, and the fight went
exactly.
7 more
Exactly.
rounds. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, exactly.
Because it
Which you're
matters.
right.
It matters because if you ever run across that person again, because they ask you, hey, here's the list of guys we got. Who do you want to rap? No, my coach is going to rap. Okay, cool. Here's the ref that's going to be on. If you really have a problem, you voice it at that point, which they don't generally give a shit. But if you say no,
They'll say deal with it.
Last time that guy stopped my fight way too early,
Yeah.
and we don't want him as the ref. I don't trust his judgment or something. They'll take that into quick consideration and say, okay, because they don't want you going out there going, last time I did my job and the ref fucked me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which didn't necessarily happen, but there are times
They
where
got to
you
blame
look
somebody
back.
sometimes, though. And sometimes they got to blame somebody. They got to point the finger at somebody else. And
But at the end of the day, if you feel a fight was stopped too early,
Yeah.
you have to ask yourself, why was I in that position for the
Yeah.
ref to have to make that choice? It's not like I got wrong and then fell on my ass and didn't get up and the ref went, okay, it's over. It's you got the shit pushed in, you got dropped, and you were on Weird Street, period. You were done. You were off the clock. Your computer was done. And the ref stopped the fight, but you don't want to admit why you were in that position to now point the finger and say, you stopped it early. Motherfucker, you shouldn't have been in that position getting your ass kicked in the first place, and the ref wouldn't have had to make that decision.
hey, it's just like in soccer. When they score, they want to blame the fullbacks. Well, the fullbacks say, well, hey, halfbacks, if you would have did your job, the ball would have come back
You're
here.
half a field
and,
away.
And the halfback's going to say, you strikers had an opportunity to score, but you let them bring the ball back here. I mean, it's just on and on and
Exactly.
on. But
So-
it's okay. I just had to make that
mean,
analogy
no.
just to let you know that I do know the sport.
Exactly. So you get it. So you can understand why. I don't even know why guys. I mean, now if I go back and look at the fight and you were dodging everything and the ref just got scared and because he didn't have a good angle and then stopped it or something, or you were given a thumbs up and you were acknowledging the ref, you were given a thumbs up or something where it's like, okay, yeah, the ref shouldn't have stopped that fight. You had his back and you were looking for a choke and you just didn't move for a couple seconds while you're looking to work in the choke and the ref stood you guys up. That was bad. You know what I mean? So certain things like that, like they don't understand the position or something where you can clearly go, dude, you had his back. Why would the ref stand you up? I've seen that happen.
It
and I just
happens.
go, what are you doing? He had a dominant position. You just forced him to give it up. And me personally, if I was on a dude's back and the ref's like, hold on, break, I'd be like, fuck you.
No.
I would immediately just start rolling him over and start striking him or something because I'm not going to give up a back position. No, hell no.
That don't make any sense.
To get stood back up and then get your clock clean because the dude's striking was his forte and you spent the last 2 rounds trying to get him to the ground. No, stand back up.
Taking shots, doing what you needed to do
I would
just to get him
literally
down.
argue that. I would be like, no, fuck you. I'm not call the fight. Like I'm not
Right,
letting go.
yeah.
Call the fight. Call it a no contest. Call it now then because I'm not letting go because you're forcing
unless
me.
this dude taps.
Yeah, well, even then, if the guy goes, oh, I tap, great. But if I'm on his back and they would say what I would say, no, call the fight. Okay, fight's over. Cool. Now I'll let go, and now we'll deal with this
Well,
after.
he's
in
telling you to
CSAC.
let go because the bell ring, man.
Well, that's different. But you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I would.
No, I hear you.
I would say have him call the fight,
Yeah.
and then we won't even argue this right now. Done. Raise his hand. Whatever. Let's go. Me and my manager would deal with CSAC the following day. And that's how it would be. We're going to appeal that decision. Here's why. Look at the tape. That's a dominant position that your referee tried to force me to relinquish to somebody whose advantage would be on their feet.
We got to get a ref on the show. In studio. Some of our refs.
I know a couple.
Well,
But they're travelers. They got to travel.
Well,
Like,
I was
like
thinking-
two,
I was
like
thinking-
Beltran and Herzog are two of the first guys I would have said. But
Yeah.
you heard Trigg. They're traveler guys. They're up there all the time. So to get one of those guys, we'd have to catch him on the phone or while he's doing a
we'll get
California
maybe
show.
Mark Laurie in here.
Or maybe
He's a local guy,
I'll
yeah.
hit him up and see when their next California spots are and say, when are you doing a fight in California again? And which way are you going? Are you going to
Yeah.
be anywhere near Fresno? Can we get you into studio one
I
day?
want their take. And I want them to have a voice and argue back, say, well, no, hold on a second. This is what a lot of people don't know. and then I want to hear from them.
Yeah, go. What's your perspective when
Exactly.
you're running that question through your computer in your head? Go, should I stop it? Should I not? Because you literally have to
Oh, yeah,
ask
that's
yourself,
them.
should or shouldn't I?
Yep.
And then answer it immediately. It's not because maybe it's too
And
soon.
not get caught up. I'm watching this fight. I'm officiating this fight. I'm
Yeah.
being the ref to this fight.
putting
I'm
the
saving
crowd
a
out
life.
of your
Yes,
head.
exactly.
Because the crowd will be like, fucking stop the fight, stop the fight. He's getting his ass
Officiating
kicked.
is tough, man.
Dude.
It's very tough.
You think it's bad being a fighter on the ground, hearing that shit in the crowd that you're trying to ignore, and think about the guy that's trying to break your face.
Yeah.
Imagine being the ref, having the same scenario, having to watch it and make critical decisions on
Hey,
someone's career.
I've heard these photographers go off on him. Hey, move out of the way. I'm trying to get this. Dude, he's trying to save lives, man.
Yeah.
Make the adjustment.
and then later it's like,
Unless
dude.
you're like Mark Davis, you just hold their arm right there and go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a real photographer,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
take the action shot.
Yeah, he will.
Take 1,000 of them. You can edit them out later.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You're complaining when it's like, oh, dude, you're waiting for the perfect shot. You're not a real cage
Well,
side
there's
photographer.
some of these guys that I know personally. They think they get the money shot all the time. I'm not putting this guy on blast. But,
No,
you know.
but you get the perspective of if
Mark
you're a
Davis, you know who
true
I'm talking
pro,
about.
You know, true pro doesn't matter. You'll wait for the ref and you'll try to take
Yeah.
whatever action shots you can. A good shot through the legs of a guy getting his face busted in, come on, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing there if you don't realize that's a good shot. So I don't know. It's not easy being them. I really don't. They're literally like you've got the 12th man on the field or whatever.
Yeah.
That's literally the third man in
At
the
one
cage.
time, I wanted to be a boxing referee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You got to be able to take a punch down on the chin
Oh
too.
man, you got to be able to move
You've
around.
seen some of those refs get cracked.
Yeah, you got to be in shape, and you got to know your you got to know your
'Cause you
stuff
gotta move.
right then and there. Bang bang play like in baseball. You got to know when to come in, what to call, and not to be afraid to say no. Like Mills Lane when he stood up
Just
and,
stick your
and
face in there.
yeah, Mills Lane stood up. Mike Tyson tried to tell him something. He goes, no, bullshit. Boom, and boom, he called it.
Oh yeah.
No, hey, Mills Lane, he was in there.
And the thing is though, all boxers, I
Yeah.
mean anybody that's worth anything in boxing would treat the ref like God's law.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I mean
exactly.
even a guy like Mike Tyson be like, yeah, whatever. And
Yeah.
walk off.
Yeah.
But he's gonna turn around and go
Hey,
back.
Ken
you know what
Shamrock
I mean?
was on Mike Tyson's podcast.
Yeah, I saw that.
I know.
I can only imagine what that fight would have been like.
Oh yeah, but you see, Ken Shamrock was on the Fighter's Voice first.
That's true.
That's right.
True. Well, now we're gonna get a phone call. Why wasn't I on your show? God, please don't
Hey,
kill
we'll
me,
take
Mike.
him on there.
I don't
We'll
have your
ta-
tiger. Please
No,
don't hit me.
we'll take him on there. But I want to listen to that. My left ear is kind of popping a little bit, or the speaker went out.
But yeah, I think I think it's going to be a good
There, it went
opportunity to
on.
get one of them on. I'll have to hit one of them up and find out
Yeah.
when their next California show is, because that'll be
Absolutely.
the best opportunity. And
Yeah.
say, hey, okay, you're going to be coming through Cali anyway. Is there a
Well,
chance we can get
because
you to detour?
fighters, they get all the interviews. I
Yeah.
want to interview these referees and even some of these judges. What do you look for when you're judging?
Do you do any type of training? Is there any type of thing you can do?
You know, they probably can't get in depth. Maybe a retired judge and say, how do people influence you? Do they just give you the look, or how do they let you know? Okay, this is the guy. You know, I don't say.
I think that'd be a hard subject to squeeze
Hey
an
man,
answer out of
if they come
anyone.
on the Fighter's Voice, they're going to say, "I ordered the code red." They might even tell us who shot Kennedy.
You know, I would like to think so, but I think at that point, I think if they did stuff like that, I think they're still held accountable. It would be
Yeah,
like
I
a
think
life
so.
gag, like a gag order.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't think the boxing commissioners would want to find out that one of their own,
Yeah,
took bribes or anything.
well, they know. I know,
they
but
know,
don't want to know.
they know,
Yeah.
but don't want to. Yeah, they want plausible
exactly,
deniability.
Exactly. I don't know what you're talking about.
We didn't see it; it didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was a straight up decision win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Get the fuck outta here.
I turned in my score
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and I signed it.
yeah, exactly.
So there it is. There it's documented.
Signing them checks.
Speaking of signing and being documented, Isidro Ochoa, we want to wish you well. You're competing this Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada, from Fresno, California. The opponent that he has, he's 6 wins with 5 knockouts.
God damn.
So they're both undefeated. But you know what? His attitude that he had, the willingness to put his undefeated record on the line, and he knows if I want to get better, I need to fight fights like this. I want fights
You need
like
to take
this.
dangerous fights
Yes.
every now and then,
Yes.
because that's how you evolve as a
And
fighter.
there he is right there, Fresno zone.
Yeah, that's how you evolve as a fighter, and that's how you build your brand and exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta have a fight, tough fight,
Yeah.
fight, tough fight. Like you have to, and not everybody wants to. They want to pad their record.
He's on the undercard of Tyson Fury,
Oh,
which is
nice.
arguably the heavyweight champion of the world. A lot of people had him beating Deontay Wilder, which I have to be among those that believe that he pulled that fight off. But nevertheless, and we also have from Stockton, California, Gabriel Flores Jr. be competing in there.
Same card?
Yeah, same card.
Oh, lots of eyes in the crowd that night then.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great card.
There's gonna be lots of eyes early on the night
Yeah.
too, just sitting in the seats, watching, taking notes.
I was talking to a buddy of mine. I'll just say his first name, Eric. I mean, he gets to, and I said, man, you must love your job. He said, yeah, man, I do. He gets to sit in these fight meetings and hear, hey, how about this guy take on this guy? How about this guy take on this guy? And they
Hear
said,
the
well,
inner
we're going to make
workings.
it happen, but we got to do behind it. We got to make these
We're gonna build it with
pieces
these
move.
fights.
Yes, with these So he went out and said, look, Richard, I already knew there wasn't going to be great matchups this year because of the big picture is they had to take place to get to these matchups. And we're talking about fighter A and B, and we're not even giving names, but we already know exactly who we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
I
would say personally, if A fighter fights B, that's a tough one for me personally because I don't even want to comment on it because people know who I'm talking about, but that is a very tough one for me to comment on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's good to like and follow fighters, but when you're, I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah,
man. But it was cool. I mean, that's a cool job to have.
Well, yeah, because you're not deciding careers because at the end of the day, all these guys have to fight and all those pieces have to happen.
And he's contracted where he can't even.
But you're writing
sometimes
a
have a conversation with a certain camp because right now he's working with this camp.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just the nature of the sport.
Because they're trying to take him in a specific direction right now, and then we have a specific direction for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every once in a while he'll comment on here, and I'll ask him, "What do you mean?" Not getting sassy with him. It's just because I want him to break it down from a true professional, and he does.
Give me your
Tell
me where you see it from your point, because you're basically I'm asking you for education at that point.
Exactly.
Help me
educate these other followers because it's more than just, hey, well, how come this guy's not fighting this? And it's, that argument keeps going on, and you got two different promoters, you got two different networks. It's hard to just say, okay, if the fighter wants it, it's going to happen. Because sometimes the fighters really don't want it.
May not want the fight. He may say, not at this point in his career.
No.
We don't want, not that opponent, but we don't want that direction.
No.
And it's like, what do you mean you don't want that direction? Well, we have a direction we're trying to take our guy in. And this is the direction we want to take him in.
I was getting jealous this week, though, Cole. I really was, man. Bro, because when I put it on there, everybody's in Las Vegas this week to cover that fight. The fighter's voice needs to be there, right? And that was the plans to be there. But I signed a contract to perform Sunday for Heartbeat Boxing. I'm going to be their ring announcer. So I don't regret that because
that's got karma purpose, though. That's a good karma opportunity for everyone to have you there.
Oh, you mean karma? What do you mean?
Karma, like it works. It's going to work in your benefit in the long run, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Okay. Like I really don't believe in karma.
Well, you see Vegas as a missed opportunity.
Or you're using it as in a different illustration, right?
Yeah, like it's like you feel like you've missed an opportunity by going to Vegas, but what you're going to do at the heart event
absolutely
will, like I said, like you're going to catch the eye of someone or the ear. Well, you're going to catch the ear of someone.
I believe God's going to say, no, hey, patience. I'm running the ship. I'm running the show.
Like
I got
boxer's manager.
Yeah.
We don't want that fight. We want this fight.
Exactly.
Trust me. But I could beat. You can beat him too.
Exactly.
But we're going to take this fight.
I feel like I need to be there watching Isidro, covering Isidro in Gabriel Flores.
No, I feel you. It's like a reverse homesick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I feel you.
So I'll be tuned in Saturday, man.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
be a good card.
Golden Boy also has a great card too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing boxing still, right?
Yeah. Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Escovedo
handles all the UFC stuff, mixed martial arts, and the Bellator stuff.
I never know.
You were on a conversation when we were coming over here, and then we were just talking about how sponsorship. Somebody asked me, well, what would you do with them? And I said, well, for one, I would have sent KP and Cole down there, took care of their room, took care of the gas, and took care of their meals to go get some content on that, to cover Big Al.
Oh.
Because he was a guest, and not only that, just to be relevant out there. And I was told, well, wouldn't you go there? Because don't you? No, hold on a second. Am I not going to utilize the strengths that this show has with Escovedo and how he's going to interview these MMA martial arts guy? I'm going to say he was in a chokehold, and they're going to say, no, asshole, it was an armbar.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to, no, and it does, and it does. So I wouldn't mind happening because I honestly made a mistake, and I know the difference between the two compared to, okay. No,
but when you're trying to make things move fast.
And that's what I would do because we were talking along the way right here, man. So those are the plans, KP. So you and Kobe rocking and rolling with that MMA stuff, man. Utilize the strengths of the show and of the team.
Gotta build content.
Absolutely.
Content is what the whole
thing is based on.
Bullshit
content.
Yeah.
Someone that knows what the hell they're talking about.
Can actually ask a question that will make
sense.
Been there,
done that.
You know what I mean? Like this is the question I would want to have been asked.
Yes, exactly. So being that said, anything else we got to cover, my man?
That's about it. Just the big question right now is who's going to be next for Khabib? Like, what are all the arguments for it? So if you think GSP and them is the smart one, cool. Why? Tell us.
Better yet, not who's next. Who could beat Khabib? But be realistic. Don't have him go up against DC's nephew or something.
Yeah, don't pick somebody that is not even on the radar. But really,
I know who could beat Khabib. Ren could beat Khabib.
Who?
Ren. Nate.
Oh,
Warren. Or Warren.
He would probably take that fight too.
He would.
Just for the photo. I will fight you, Khabib.
You went there.
But you got to take a photo with
Nate.
me.
Don't kick my ass.
Dude,
Go after Cole.
But what I'm saying is, like, Nate's willing to do
Kick Cole's ass and then take a
whatever it
picture
takes
with
to
him.
get the photo, right? Tell me I'm wrong. We see him with everyone.
He's everywhere.
Like, we see him with so many people that, like, the guy's willing to do whatever he takes to get the photo.
That was the whole plan because he's everywhere. I'm saying, I'm going to put a Fighter's Voice shirt on you and hat and get your ass registered. Go cover the event.
Make him like the global representative.
Go come back with content.
Well, I honestly, I would imagine with the right amount of storage, room on a camera or whatever that he uses, there's no shortage of content because it's just all we really see on Instagram and Facebook is usually just like one or two photos of him with whatever famous person he's with this time, and it's a variety of sports, actors, I would say political people, and it just fluctuates. There's no real. He just does this. He's just taking pictures with everybody that matters that he comes across, and you're always seeing like the different things he's at. Like he was suited up in tie and suit the other day doing a black and white event. It looked like a red carpet thing of some kind, and he was getting a lot of things. But that's not even the content. That's like a blink at whatever it is that he was doing there that brought him across these people. The content would be only limited by, like I said, by the storage room he has on this SD card or whatever he's using because there's so much content. But like I said, the guy's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
You can literally make him like your global ambassador.
I'm telling you.
And that would be all you would need for that
That was the plan, but it's hard to really have a meeting through way of text. I don't get that. I don't. I love his desire. I love his.
But some things require face-to-face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And in this business, you cannot. I repeat, including myself, cannot take things personal, man.
Yeah, that's just part of being involved in industries similar to things that are like movie, film, radio, television, anything that encompasses within entertainment. You can't take things personally because if you do, you either A, end up shooting yourself in the foot, or B, you end up turning down something because you have a resentment against, let's say, a director rubbed you the wrong way one day, or a producer rubbed you the wrong way, or Ben Affleck rubbed you the wrong way, or whatever. You're just like, I won't work in that film because I don't like that guy. Well, that's sounds like a you problem.
Yeah,
because there's an opportunity there for you,
Exactly.
and you don't have to like Ben Affleck to work with him, but it's Batman. Get on the fucking set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an opportunity that would just, it helps you and it helps whoever is asking you to do the job.
What did Trigg say today? You get that call to double for Vin Diesel. You go.
Oh,
I don't care if you're sick.
Hell yeah.
You're on top of your old lady. You go.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do. Put your Corona down. Put your camera down.
Put your pants
go. Yeah, there you go.
But no, it's exactly what he's talking about. But what I'm saying is you could hire that guy just to be your global ambassador, and that's all you need for that department.
Yeah.
That would be it, because he's already doing it.
Yeah, he is.
He's already out there. Now it's just a matter of get him to give content.
Here's the great question. What do you want to do? What would you like to do? No.
Oh,
to him, what would you like to do?
To Nate?
No. If somebody asked him, I want to ask him, what is it that you would like to accomplish?
Oh.
What's your goal?
My ideal goal would be game show host.
I already know that.
That's
I know that.
That's a project I've been working on for a bit
No,
now,
I already know that, and that's you, because I told people. I said, hey, and they'll go, oh yeah, I can see that.
But
and I said, not only that, being that game show, whatever the game is, you're gonna be a part of.
Yeah,
you'll be the
dude.
control. You'll have a suit of freaking buttons or something.
I've got so many ideas for a game show in downtown. It's amazing. But anyway, something with purpose is what I would say. If somebody asks me, what do I want to do? Purpose. Like, that's why my friend thought I'd be a good fit for that expulsion school. There's a purpose there. It's a teaching world job where we already know the pay's not great. It's not. Teachers
Whenever
are
somebody
super
does something
underpaid.
and the pay's not great, they have a passion for it.
Yeah,
Plain and
so
simple,
there's a purpose to that job. And he's like, I think you'd be a good fit. And so far, you're dealing with a lot of frustration and personal anger issues from kids and stuff. And it's not even at you. You just happen to unfortunately be in the scenario of authority where you represent the authority on the property. And that's just what it ends up getting targeted at. So you have to try to build relationships with them is the kind of job it is. So it's a purpose job.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I just want to let you know that the guests that I was going to announce that we have, I'm not going to announce them because we're going to have to bump one of them. Because we're going to reach out and somebody's going to be coming on the show before they go knock somebody out.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. So we're going to have to move some things around.
Nice.
Yeah. So you want to close or I'll close?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I think I've babbled enough
No,
today.
you did. That was your call, though, and I'm glad you put that together, and I'll tell you exactly how much I appreciate it once we get off camera. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you're not part of the subscription people, hey, subscribe to us, www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. That's www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Cole Escovedo, the special guests, and all the crew right here at the Kick-Ass Podcast, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.